Welcome to Evolution Business Development, Evo Biz Devo. I am your guest host, Mike McQuillan. Isis is sunning herself somewhere around in Florida, and well, apparently she's very relaxed right now. So we're flying solo here, but flying solo, luckily, our guest today has her own private jet. At least that's what the background looks like. We're going to hear more about it. So thank you for those here in attendance. If you're watching this live, well, if you're watching this recorded, thank you for watching the recording, but you missed out on a pretty good mastermind session. But our guest today is Haleh Houshim, the creator and founder of Healthspan with Haleh. Now, ever since she was a young girl, Haleh has believed that a healthy human being can live for 200 years. And since then, she has put that theory to the test. And life has tested her in ways that would age most people decades ahead of their time. First, her family lost everything during the Islamic Revolution, her home country of Iran. She came to the United States, and later on, she walked away from an abusive marriage. And over a decade ago, Haleh suffered a total shutdown of her immune system. Doctors told her she would never function without a daily dose of a full breakfast of medication. But today, Haleh, I'm going to say it, Haleh is 55 years old, and most people say she looks younger than I do. She's happily married, she's free of medication, healthy, vibrant, and is the creator of Healthspan with Haleh, a coaching program to increase your number of healthy adult years through positive manifestation, practical health strategies, and detoxifying your physical environment. Personally, my life has taken a turn for the better since I started using her morning action plan. So please join me in welcoming Haleh Houshim. Haleh, how are you?
Thank you. Thank you. My God, it's an honor to be here. And thank you for this time and space. Mike, I'm just blown away by that introduction. Yeah, leave it to the certified uh,
Say it, say
professional,
it.
the ultimate. I need a better word for you to create my introduction. Okay, I'm going to steal that. I want that introduction. I love it. Thank you so much. You couldn't
Did,
say
did
it
I
better.
leave anything out? Did I leave anything out?
No, it was perfect. That's why you do
Oh,
what you do. Thank you. Wow.
well, thank you. Always putting the
Now I
focus
need to
on
learn
the.
that. Okay.
That's great. So we were talking, you heard in the introduction, there's a pretty good balance of kind of the emotional headspace and the practical. If people want to make changes in their life, where should they start? Should they start with just simple health things, or do they need the big picture of the mindset and the manifestation?
There's so much confusion out there in this health, holistic. They name it in so many different ways. Healing, quantum, there's so many varieties and it makes it complicated. I know for a fact because at the time when I was bedridden, it was like, okay, I know about all these holistic, which one works and which one doesn't. So that by itself wears down your body, that stress. So my way is simple, simple, simple. And that's why I created like simple steps, the 5 steps morning action plan that you took, because that's all it takes. And people will look at it, oh, I do that. But there's more in depth in each one of those steps to start out your day. Simplicity, but being consistent is the key.
Okay, so you go, no, you start with simple steps and you go deeper on each of those steps. That's how
Absolutely.
that's how it works. Okay, now I already know this, Holly, but why don't you tell people what is the first thing to do when you wake up in the morning to make the rest of the day sparkle, shine, take off?
The first thing is gratitude. So, gratitude is very important. Simple things. You don't have to overthink gratitude. It's the sheets, the pillows, if you're sleeping on the ground, the couch, whatever it is, just be grateful that you have a place to sleep. So it starts, and people want to like complicate it. I had a client that said, I don't know what to write as a gratitude. They overthink it and they don't allow it to come naturally. What are you grateful for? You know, are you eating? Are you drinking? Are you breathing? There's simple stuff that you can just start with gratitude. So I think that is the most important thing, gratitude.
What do you think of this flashcard right here?
Always grateful, never satisfied.
Really good, right? And now I hear a lot of people lecturing, be grateful. And some, I'm usually, when people lecture on gratitude, a lot of times I'm grateful for leaving the room. No, but you frame it differently. What what difference does that make to begin with gratitude?
You start out, see, the morning is so crucial because it sets the tone for the rest of your day. And the way you start with a gratitude, that loving feeling when you're grateful for things, you're appreciated. So it connects you with your own inner being, your own light, your own heart, because you're digging deep and being positive, and that positivity follows through and gets you aligned, and more of that will be magnetic to you, it'll attract to you because you're coming from that space. Excuse me.
I see that. So can you tell us one gratitude affirmation you used today?
I'm grateful for Zoom, right?
All right, very cool. Yeah.
So I get to do this with you guys, and I got to meet amazing people that are on here. So
Cool. Yeah,
yeah.
definitely a different flavor here because we're not just pitch slapping each other on our stuff. That comes later. But so very cool. So how do you go? So it's a very simple thing to state gratitude. I'm grateful for Zoom. I'm grateful for my fingers and toes and my clean linens on my mattress that I paid for. How do you go deeper on that?
What I do, as most people know about, it's a journaling. Journaling is very, very crucial because you're literally sitting there, and when you have a pen to paper, it works on certain chemistry in your brain, and our subconscious mind is extremely powerful, and that gets programmed in our subconscious mind, and it projects out. So I make sure I write down what I'm grateful for, and I make a whole list because journaling, which is part of my the steps, uh, that is part of the gratitude and the journaling together, because that's one step I do. I make sure I write down all the stuff I'm grateful, because some certain stuff will come out of you without you knowing. So, and now Mike disappeared, the camera went. Okay.
I'm here, don't worry. I'm grateful for my webcam. I'm not too happy about how quickly I'm not grateful for autofocus. It keeps going blurry.
Okay.
You got to teach me how to stop fidgeting, Holly. That's one of my superpowers, and that's where it comes from. Okay, so there is some brain science to this, and that's why let's talk some science a little bit because there's also a physical health component, and there's also an environmental toxins thing. Which one do you want to tackle first, the physical health or the environmental toxins?
Well, if you want to talk about the environmental, I'll go there because that is so huge. And I'm on what day am I on? The 29th is a 30-day detox that I'm doing. You wonder, oh, you're healthy. Why do you detox? Because we all think we're healthy because we're functioning well, but then it'll be called old age or genetics, or doctors will give you some kind of medication to go on. But you can take those little steps to detox your body. Like I just did tomorrow will be my final day of this detox. Was it easy? No, we all want to eat the stuff we want, right? But getting our mindset into that, you just have to embody that mindset. Look at the end results. What do you want to accomplish? You know, so that's what I'm doing. But because the receipts you touch, that's also toxic. There's so many nanoparticles, PFAs in everything in our environment. Especially I was in California, Los Angeles, the fires were really close to me. So all of that, although the air looks good, everything is sunny, sunshine, and dandy, but we're getting exposed without even knowing that it's going to pay off later on in our life.
I
So
see. Okay,
yeah,
I get that. Well, I was saying, what can we do to kind of purge some of those toxins? We can't all just buy our own mountain somewhere and just live on it. How do we purge some of those toxins out of our body, and how do we know when we're getting the result?
right. One of the steps that I also mentioned in my 5 steps is grounding. Grounding yourself to earth is so important because we're bombarded by Wi-Fi, cell towers, dirty electricity all around us. And those charges, those ions are bouncing around inside our bodies. And that causes inflammation and irritates our nervous system. And we're not aware of this. And we think it's something else. But we're on our phones, we're in front of the computers. And no matter how much EMF protections or plug in, which I have plugged in protections we have, it's not enough because the technology is way beyond us and we're bombarded around us. So if you can go outside, get grounded on the grass, on earth, it's really beneficial. You can hug a tree, which is really beneficial. So there's different steps that you get. Nature is your friend, is your best friend. And
Cool.
go to nature without your phone. Disconnect
Yes.
from the phone. Or if you go outside for a walk, leave the phone behind. You'll be okay. You'll survive. We didn't have it in the 80s. How did we survive?
Yeah, I know. Wasn't that funny that we're always so quick to lecture kids these days? Oh, you kids are on your phone because they have them. We didn't have them, so it's not like we're superior to them. We just didn't have the stuff that they're addicted to.
Exactly.
So it's
Exactly.
good to see you have that sense of understanding that, okay, now how much time is it? I've got a nice grass field right in front of the apartment house here. And I go out there and not only standing there, I do my box breathing, I also do a set of push-ups. So my hands get down in the grass. How much time do I need to stand out there in the grass?
Right. So when they don't have to do what you did. I saw your video like mastering in those push-ups. Wow. That-
They
Yeah,
were
I
full
don't know you
range
can
of
do so
motion.
many push-ups. Yeah, you don't have to do all that complication stuff. When I looked at that, I'm like, okay, I don't do any of that. You can just hug a tree, just stand there, put your palms against the tree, just relax, just step away from your computer, even if it's 5 minutes. That's what I say, being consistent. Just step away and it'll grow to more. You'll enjoy it so more that you want it to be more. Like today as I stand here, I make sure if I have to get up at 5, I get up at 4. That's how, and I get up with passion because I look forward to doing my morning routines because I don't call them routines, I call them powerhouse because
Yeah,
it's just fun for me. And I spend an hour now. You could start with 2 minutes, 5 minutes, but now it's an hour of me time before bed and in the morning.
very cool. Yeah, we don't have the time to go over the morning and the evening action plan here, but I love how you talk about this. And now I'm just going to give it away. The other things are brush your teeth and drink water. Now, Hallie is very particular about toothpaste. Do you want to go into a little bit on the because so far we've talked about the brain chemistry reacts to positive statements, especially in that are those alpha waves or beta waves when you first wake up? Those alphas or betas?
I think it's
Oh,
alpha.
okay, those are alpha waves, and that's where so there's a brain chemistry involved. Detoxifying your physical environment, the way you talk about, hug a tree, push-ups in the grass, and no matter what you step in the grass, you can just wash it
Oh,
off your feet. That's another. Check out my St. Patrick's Day post to find out what I stepped in. Luck of the Irish.
oh.
So we've covered all that.
Wait,
Yeah.
before you go move on, Mike, let me
Oh,
grab this
geez.
really
You
quick.
want to hang
Okay.
on that one, don't you? Fine.
Yeah, I gotta grab that one. Hold on. It's coming. I forgot to bring it. It's this. I stand on this. Actually, I'm not standing. Good reminder. It's a PMF mat that can ground you, but the best is get outside. But this is an option too.
Very
There
cool.
you go. Thank you for reminding me. Okay.
My great pleasure. So the grass is more natural, but you can have a magnetic frequency absorbing mat in your home, and dogs don't poop on it. So you've got so either way,
It
there's a
washes
benefit.
off. It's natural. Come
Yeah,
on.
just wash it off, no problem.
What's
Yeah,
wrong about that?
it's like it never happened. Luck of the Irish. But let's move on to toothpaste, shall we?
Okay.
So now we've covered that. Just a small little bit of education for our audience here. Tell us about toothpaste.
Okay. Toothpaste. A lot of us think fluoride is good, but actually, fluoride is damaging. And there was a lot of conversation and science behind this, and there's a back and forth about fluoride. And a lot of dentists, they still use it. And my dentist knows I don't use it, and I actually do alternative dentistry because it's really harmful, and it is proven to lower IQ in children, fluoride. So it can cause crystals to calcify in the pineal glands as well too. So there's a lot of research on this fluoride, but I have other options of toothpaste, which are fantastic. I did a lot of research on toothpaste, and I'm like addicted to my toothpaste right now because I can't use anything else other than
Yeah,
quality toothpaste. Yeah, because all of our teeth is connected to all of the organs in our bodies too. So that's as
absolutely.
easy language to speak. Some people like complicated, put the science in there, and then it goes over their head, you know.
Okay.
But there's a big research out there, and it's so important. And you wonder why your body, your liver, you don't need to cut it out, or the gallbladder, or all of this. There's little stuff you can do.
I see that. So you can make some pretty drastic changes when working with people, but how much of a change? I imagine you encounter people's resistance to change. Me as a speaking coach, with speaking, oh no, to get people to step away from the projector, that's a lot. How do you compare that to what you do? How much resistance to change do you have to overcome?
Not much. You gotta, what I mean by not much is taking those little steps. If it's just the one client was the water. So we'll just take one step at a time. You don't have to like do everything all at once and then get overwhelmed and not do anything at all. If it's the water, let's start with water because hydration is important and the quality of water. That's another story, right? But just water by itself is huge. So there's so many different ways that you can implement, and that's why I made the five simple steps to do. Starts with simplicity. You can do it. Start with 2 minutes a day. Just to incorporate a little bit at a time, it does make a huge difference. But you got to do it in the long run to see the results that you want to see. And you got to be consistent.
Excellent. Very true. Thanks for that. It's not a whole, yeah, Daneva's cat, you got another audience member here. Cats, I know you're grateful for Zoom, Haleh, but cats are even more grateful for Zoom. You're always going to get a cat chat. You know it's a good time. They know what's up. So
They're so
let's,
cute. Okay.
yeah, I love it. So we've got just a few minutes left here to talk, but we've got enough time to talk about, first off, I'd love to hear a few things about Wayne Dyer and Louise Hay and how you learned all this. And also a little bit about your backstory. I mean, people really need to hear the Hashimoto story and how you came to where you are, and also a little bit about what it looks like to actually work with you. So, real quickly, what is your experience with some of these great, before the term thought leader was a term they thought of, there were real leaders in the self-development movement. Wayne Dyer's at the top of a lot of people's list. What was it like? What did you learn from these people, and how close did you work with them?
Thank you. I got to meet with I was a member of the Louise Hay way back. And it was just my God. It's sad that both of our legend Louise Hay and Dr. Wayne Dyer is not here with us because most of my turning point was from them. It started with Louise Hay first, actually, because she has a book, You Can Heal Your Life. And I hated myself. It started like that. I was not satisfied. At a young age, I had to move to Beverly Hills and I didn't fit in. Not that I didn't, I was athletic and I fit in like on the outside, you know, but on the inside, I wanted to be go barefoot in nature. I wanted to be surrounded by communities in nature, and it was just not in sync with deep inside of me. So, Louise Hay, one of the things that is still next to me, and I'll bring it, is her mirror, Life Loves You, and it's signed by Louise Hay. And it's a
Wow.
compact mirror. Look at yourself in the mirror always and practice it every day. And I do that up to today. Look in your mirror, eye to eye, and say, I love you to yourself. And a lot of people find that difficult. And that was difficult for me. But just not to say it, but really feel it, really embody it, and feel that feelings. So that really was a huge difference. It wasn't easy. It took a while till I actually felt with every cell of my being, because people say, but you got to really love every part of you and not criticize yourself, because those criticizing just 1 second even goes in the subconscious and it'll shoot out, it'll project out when you don't know it. So that was the huge thing with Louise Hay. And every symptom, like a headache, is related to a part of the body. A cut, even anything is related. And there's science behind this, because Dr. Bruce Lipton also says that you can change your DNA by your thoughts. So it's nothing woo woo. So it's actually facts about that. And then, we're limited on time. And Dr. Wayne Dyer also, oh my God, what was that book called? It just escaped me. There's a book he gave me, and it's all about the same thing. You're fixing the outside. People are injecting, doing Botox and this and that, but it's the inside that needs surgery, not the outside. So he gave me that. And also, it came to me later down the line that how important that water talk that he did with me, which I put into my action plan, is important. So I have actually an audio that me and him talked about the water. So yeah, so those two were huge in my life. So
Well, that's
yeah.
great. And it's great to see how the mindset and the science are one and the same. We meet so many people who are one or the other. All right, Haleh, you've earned it. Let's talk about your coaching program. Is it 60 days, 90 days? How long are we doing this? If you're coaching me and you're going to ask me about my toxins, and please don't ask about my diet or how I treat my teeth. Half of these babies are fake. We had this conversation last week, actually. I'm glad you weren't there for it. But what is it like to work with you?
Thank you. They'll have that accountability, that motivation, that inspiration to hand take them to that next level, whatever it is. And in order to see results, yes, you can hire me hourly. I do that, but the best result you can see for it to work, to have that someone behind you all the way, every step of the way, that would be me. And as I said, you get my inspiration, my motivation to energize you to move forward and to make it happen, is that 3 months 90-day program. That's the best way to see the results that you want to get to.
Wow. So 90 days of having you committed to a person's development, health wise, looking at the supplements in the toothpaste, looking at the toxins in the environment, but also just pumping positivity to get the brain chemistry to follow the life decisions as well. That's about the most robust program I've ever seen. That's really cool. Now, for the people here, you're going to get Haleh's morning action plan on printed out. If you're not, haha, you should have been here. But let's wrap it up with the story. And of course, my camera went blurry. My camera is more emotional than I am. But the auto, it's not about me, it's about you. My life has more focus thanks to you, and my webcam doesn't play along. But I'm gonna
All right.
your story, your story of so help me out. You were working in a very prestigious
Oh,
hospital in a cancer ward. Take it away.
yes. Thank you. It was January. It was a Wednesday too. It was a Wednesday, January 2011. One regular work day, I got up to go to work. I've been at this job for 14 years. But this time, when the alarm went off, I couldn't turn it off. I couldn't move. I screamed out to my husband, and he's like, "What's happening?" I'm like, "I can't move." And then I was just in such a shock that tears were rolling down my eyes, because a few days ago I was hiking and everything was fine. What is happening? Long story short, I was carried to the restroom and I couldn't go to work for 3 months. I was in bed. And this was a job that was very high demand. Uh, three lovely, crazy nurses, my piles of workload, and my work is going in my head. It's like, I gotta get to work. I got a big load of responsibility that I have to get to, but I couldn't. I was labeled labels of Hashimoto, chronic fatigue, chronic pain, brain fog. That Hashimoto is the energy around your throat. My voice was shut. I couldn't say a word. So my subconscious was taking a hold of all of this. Although I was energetic, happy, being there for the patients, but inside I was dying. That I couldn't say anything about the holistic realm. And I didn't have a voice, or I would get fired and I needed to financially survive. That being said, with those labels, I, coming from my background, being mentored by scientists, I cured his own cancer. And I knew there's more than that. I may not be able to walk now, but I'm not giving in to the medication. I'm not listening to the programming. They want me to get on medication, or I can't walk, or this and that, all that nonsense, which I don't even want to put it out there in the universe right now. So in 3 months, I was out of bed without any meds, and it took a lot of work. It took a lot of research and a lot of reaching out. But I wanted to be that person, to not be medicated, to know how powerful our bodies are. So that's what I did. I stepped into my own power, into my own light. And one of the techniques that I used was cell resonance quantum healing, which is scientifically it works in the subconscious mind, and it goes back to ancestral and DNA and all the stuff that is stored in our subconscious that we're not even aware of. And that's why I
Wow.
constantly say it's not old age, it's not genetic. In my genes, there was no symptoms of an autoimmune or any of the symptoms I mentioned, because a researcher, even did that to make sure it's not genetic, and it's not.
Good for you. So all these things happen. You did all these studies before the condition struck you, and you weren't able to speak up. You were in a cancer ward, people pump full of the most powerful medication just to survive, and you weren't an oncologist, so you couldn't just say, no, put that stuff away. And because you couldn't speak, your throat shut down. It affected you, and you were able to manifest the health and wellness that the patients couldn't. That's really,
Absolutely.
do
Yes.
you do
Yes.
cell resonance in your coaching as well?
That's a more in person. Most of the people on Zoom are not in front of me. That's a technique. That's an in-person technique.
Okay.
There's many levels of cell resonance quantum healing. I certified on the first level, and I knew about it 2011. And my mentor, my friend right now, who's traveling around the world, he's like, you're mastered in this. Why don't you just take it? So in 23, I got certified. And actually, he's in one of my books, Dr. Doug there. He's in one of the books, which that came about how I got out of it naturally and holistically, the details in my co-author chapter on that book. Yeah.
All right, Holly, hold on. Hold up that book one more time. Give us a good plug, and then
Which
we'll cut
one?
off the
This one or that
recording.
one? This
Either
one.
the one that's got your name on it. Come on now. The other one is no, the one with your name on it.
Oh,
Your
this
face on
one.
it.
Okay, this one's the
Yeah, come on now.
okay.
The only thing you don't do well is boast. You are the universe, and you're. One more. Say the
Oh,
name of the book. Come on now.
you are the universe, the master creator.
Yes,
Well, there's
there
a
we go.
different story how this book came along. Yes,
Well, you'll have to come back for another one. And
that's another story with that book. Yeah, but
that.
the other one is the one that the bedridden one is by Dr. Doug there.
Okay. Well, thank you for that, Haleh. We got quite an education. I feel like I just went through half a medical school in this half hour. We've been here to speak. We got some great comments in the chat. Maybe we'll have some great engagement. If you're watching this on the recording, sorry, you just have to be here to experience the second half of this. thank you again, Haleh Houshim, and thank you, Evolution Business Development, for giving me the opportunity to be the guest host. And until then, stay holistic.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone that's listening.